back to my channel. In today's video we'll see how to work with Dataflow. In this lab we'll be creating a streaming pipeline using Dataflow template. We'll be making use of PubSub to BigQuery template which reads messages written in JSON from a PubSub topic and pushes them to the BigQuery table. So in this lab we'll be creating a BigQuery dataset and table. We'll create a cloud storage bucket. Then finally we'll be creating a streaming pipeline using PubSub to BigQuery Dataflow template. So let's start the lab. So let's proceed with task 1. So in task 1 we'll be enabling the Dataflow API. So here under navigation menu click on API and services. So whenever we are creating a Dataflow pipeline, we have to ensure that we enable the required APIs. So click on enable APIs here. So this API is already enabled. So you can click on manage API. So we need to disable it and enable it again. Click on enable. So now you can see the status is enabled. When you log into the console, this API will be in the enable state. You just need to disable it and enable it again. Once that is enabled, you can come back here and click on check my progress. So now this is complete. So in task 2, we will be creating a BigQuery dataset, BigQuery table and cloud storage bucket using Cloud Shell. So here you can click on activate Cloud Shell. Open this in new window. So now we have logged into the Cloud Shell. First we will be creating a dataset by the name taxi rides. To create a dataset in BigQuery, we have to make use of BQ command. BQ means BigQuery, MK means make, taxi rides. So this will create a dataset with this name. Before creating a dataset, you need to set the project ID. So execute gcloud config set project followed by the project ID. Whatever project ID you get in lab, you ensure that you use the same. After that, you need to set your account by executing this command gcloud config set account and the account ID here. So that account ID will be this username. Once that is done, we need to execute this command bqmk followed by taxi rides. So bq is nothing but BigQuery, mk is make, and it is this is the dataset name. So let's copy this. Since we are creating dataset inside BigQuery, we have to make use of bq command. Now it is successfully created. If you don't execute these two commands before creating this dataset, then this will fail. You have to ensure that you set the configs with a project ID and the account, because this student ID will be having access to this project, and since we are creating a resource inside the project, permission is very much required, or else you will face issue, you will get access denied issues. So once that is done, you can click on check my progress. This should be complete now. So now this is complete. Next we will be creating a BigQuery table by executing this command here -t. This is the table name, taxi rides dot real time. So these are the parameters which we are passing here. So you can just copy this, and before this let me show the data set here. So here you can, and when you type big, you will get this BigQuery. You can click on this BigQuery. Click on done. So this is our project. You can click on this project. Inside this project you can find this taxi rides. This is the data set. So if you click on this, you can find this dataset info. So inside this dataset we will be creating a table. So let's copy this and execute it here. So you should get this successfully created. So it has created this table. So here you can refresh this. Here you can click on this drop down. Here you can see real time. So this is a partition table. So inside taxi rides dataset, we have created real time table so that you can find. You need to refresh the contents to see that. So you need to click on this project and click on refresh contents, then only it will be visible. So inside taxi ride dataset, we have this real time table with all these fields. So under schema you can find this ride id, point idx. So these are the fields which we passed in this command, so that you can find it. Here. So ride id string, point index integer, so that we have defined it here under schema. So the table schema we have defined it here. So once that is done, you can click on check my progress. So once that is done, we need to create a cloud storage bucket. So here we will be setting the variable bucket name. So export bucket name. Here you have to make use of project ID. So let's copy this. Once that is done, we'll make use of gsutil command. So for creating a storage bucket, we have to make use of gsutil. Then mb means make bucket, followed by the bucket name. Since we have exported this bucket name variable, we will be referring to that variable here. Copy this. So this will create a bucket now. Now the bucket creation is complete. So here you can go back. In console you can verify that cloud storage. So here you can see this is the bucket. So once that is done, you can click on check my progress. So in task 3, we will be creating a BigQuery dataset, BigQuery table and cloud storage bucket using the Google Cloud Console. So till now we have done it via Cloud Shell. Now we will see how we can create all this from a console. So let's go back to BigQuery. Here in navigation menu you can find the service BigQuery. Here you can click on this. This is a project ID. Click on create dataset, and so let's copy this. Provide the dataset ID here. So let me create a dataset with other name. So you can change the name and create it, but it is not required. If you have chosen to create the dataset using Cloud Shell, then again you don't have to use the console to create it. So it will be a duplicate of it. So this way you just select the multi-region and then leave all other default values as is, and you can click on create dataset. So this will also create a dataset. So now you can see under project ID this is listing. So this is the taxi rides. So here this is the another data set. You don't have to create it again. I'm just showing how you can do it on the console. So here you need to click on this 3 dots and click on create table. So here a create table from empty table, and the destination project ID will be the one, it will be automatically taken, and data set name it will automatically take that. Inside the data set only we are creating table, so it will automatically take that. And real time you can provide the table name as real time. Then under schema you need to click on edit as text. You need to copy this schema. Here you need to provide it. Once you provide that, you can click on create table. You can click on go to table. See, now the table is created with this schema. So this is how you do it from the console. This is also very straightforward. And the cloud storage bucket. So before moving into the cloud storage bucket, let me show all the data sets. So you can click on this. if you click on show more, you can find there are two data sets created, but as part of this lab only one data set needs to be created, that is taxi rides. Inside taxi ride we need to create a real-time table. So the first one I created using Cloud Shell, and the second one I created using console, just to show how we can create it from the console. So once this is done, you can also create this bucket. So you can click on storage bucket here. So here you can click on create bucket and provide a name. You can just give some bucket name here. So here you can provide the bucket name. So in your case it should be a project ID. I have already created a bucket with that name. The bucket name should be unique. Here you can provide the project ID if you are creating the bucket from the console. So it should be, and then select the location type and click on create. This way also you can create it from the console. I am not creating it because I have already created the bucket with this name. You can click on check my progress. This should be complete now. Next we need to run the pipeline. So next we will be deploying the Dataflow template. For that we will be executing this command gcloud dataflow jobs run IoT flow. So here IoT flow is the job name, and the GCS location we are providing it as this pops up to BigQuery. So we are referring to that storage bucket path. So this is where this template exists, pops up to BigQuery. And the region will be, region is US East 4, worker machine type is E2 medium, and staging location we are passing this is a project ID. Inside that this is a temp folder, so that will be the staging location. And the parameters we are passing this taxi ride real time. This is the pops up public data, so this is the pops up topic, so we are passing this. And the output table specification we are passing the project ID here. So output table specification is this. So this is a project. Inside project we have this taxi ride data set. Inside that we have this real time table. So let's copy this. Before that, here you can go to Dataflow, click on pipelines. So let's enable this. To run the Dataflow pipeline, these APIs are required. So we have already enabled Dataflow API. Next we need to enable Data Pipelines API. Next Cloud Scheduler API. So if you go to jobs here, there are no jobs running. Now we will be running this Dataflow job by executing this command. So let's copy this. So you should get this output. Now it has created this. So now it's streaming the job. So if we go back here, let's refresh this. Now you see this job is running, it's streaming. We can click on this. So job steps you can view here, and table view also you can see. So here you can see all the steps which is defined in the template. So it's reading the pops up topic. So it's performing all the steps which is defined in that, and it is in running state. You can view in graph view as well. So this will show what it is doing. So this should be in a running state. So once that is done, you can click on check my progress. Now this is complete. So since this is running, let's verify if data has been returned to BigQuery. Let's go to BigQuery here. Here under taxi rights, so here under taxi rights, this under real time, so this is a table. So here click on preview. Now you can see this data. So these are the data which has been streamed to BigQuery. So now let's run a BigQuery. So now let's submit a query. So let's query the data in our project. By executing this query, select from this project, taxi rights is a data set name and real time is a table, and limit this to 1000. So let's copy this, click on query here. So here copy paste that and run this. So you should get this result. So here you can see it's limited to 1000. So you can download this as well. You can save these results. You can click on the save results. So you can download this way. You can use any format and you can download these results. So once that is complete, so now we have successfully pulled 1000 taxi rides from PubSub topic and pushed them to the BigQuery table. So Google Cloud Dataflow supports batch processing, it's true. Which Dataflow template used in the lab to run the pipeline? It's PubSub to BigQuery. So in this lab we saw how we can use a Dataflow template to run the Dataflow job. So we pulled 1000 taxi ride records from PubSub topic and streamed it into a BigQuery table. So if you have any doubts with respect to this lab, you can leave your comments in the comment section. I will be happy to help. If you found my video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel and stay up to date with the latest content on this channel. So once you are done with this lab, you can click on End Lab. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next video.